old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Design. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Welcome back to Game on NTX. We've been gone a couple of weeks, but we are back in the saddle right now. Just a reminder, today's show is brought to you by Ensemble Co-working, Fort Worth's hub for private offices, co-working, meeting space, and virtual mail. Find your perfect workspace at ensemblecoworking.com. Bill, how you doing, brother? Uh-oh. Can you hear me, Bill?
I can't hear anything. I can't see you. I can't hear you.
Oh, man.
I'm here, John, but I can't hear anything you're saying. It's all garbled again.
Dang. All right. Well, Bill has some technical difficulties that we're trying to work through. He's on the road right now for work. He should be back, I believe it's next week or the week after. So we're going to jump into some Dallas Cowboy football talk. Man, big news came in regards to the trade deadline yesterday. The Dallas Cowboys relinquished one of their draft picks that they acquired via trade during the Micah Parsons trade a couple months ago. Oh, there he is. Can you hear me? You got me?
I got you, buddy. I got you.
All right. Welcome. Don't touch anything. Don't touch it. All right. So I just briefly touched on the big trade yesterday that we relinquished one of the first-round picks we acquired via the Micah Parsons trade.
I thought you were talking about Logan Wilson.
Well, he's another one too. So the first trade of the day was Logan Wilson for a 7th, And then about an hour before the deadline, or an hour and a half, 2 hours before the deadline, dropped a bombshell blockbuster trade for one Quinnen Williams, who is probably a top 3 defensive tackle in the NFL. That's definitely a needle mover. Not necessarily
still in his prime, for the record. Still
100% still in his prime. He is a dominant force. Uh-oh, you still there? Dang it. He is a dominant force. He's definitely going to make things easier for the linebackers, and the linebacker trade that we made for Logan Wilson, that was definitely a Band-Aid, right? I think he immediately is better than anyone on our linebacker staff right now. He's going to find work. That's just what he does. So he's going to be an immediate plug-and-play player, partnered with DeMarvion Overshone when he gets back. That's going to take a little bit of pressure off of the defensive backs trying to cover simultaneously while not being able to get a pass rush. It looks like Donovan Ezeraku has started to find his way rushing the passer. And then we've got a rotation at defensive tackle between Quinnen Williams, Osa Digizua, and Kenny Clark. And you can throw in Jay Toya there if you want to. And then Jadeveon Clowney. He really showed up Monday night, even though the game was abysmal. Clowney showed up and really seemed to make an impact for really the first time this season. He's more of a run stopper, but Clowney definitely impacted what Arizona was wanting to do, throwing the ball as well. So we've got that, and then we've got in regards to trade, Bill, how do you see this trade impacting the Cowboys defense?
I think that with Williams, he's going to get he's going to stop the run first and foremost. That's what he is at this point. He's going to give you some juice as pass rush as a pass rusher. It's not going to completely fix our defense. It's going to help tremendously because he's one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
But Logan Wilson coming in he's going to make a difference back there. You still didn't address one of your big weaknesses with your secondary. It's a hole, and you can get more pressure on up front and lessen the pressure on them in the back.
Yeah, but
they still have to be better. I don't know what it does for their chances this year because they didn't address the secondary. And like I said, my thing is, go ahead, bud. Go ahead.
I think to not to cut you off, I think I touched on that a little bit earlier when you were having issues.
Yeah.
I think this isn't just a now move; it's a long-term move because we've got a window. We've got a window right now, and essentially what the Micah Parsons trade did for the Dallas Cowboys. You essentially trade Micah Parsons for Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson, and an extra first-round pick plus cap space.
Yeah.
It was it was a home run. Now Dallas is getting killed for going basically all in on this window. But man, if you can flip a first round. Oh, and the biggest thing, we dumped Mozzie Smith. I mean that's big.
That was huge. That was huge. That was huge. I mean, that was a huge plus in this. And you got to look at it this way, in my opinion. And I'm all about the draft assets and draft capital, and I know you are too.
Mm-hmm.
But what are the chances that second round pick, or even that first round pick, where you're going to be picking it probably in the middle of the round?
Mm-hmm.
What are the chances that guy is going to be that good? Is either of the players that you would draft with one of those two picks? What are the chances that they're going to be that good?
So the word you're using there is good, right? I don't think it's going to be an immediate impact, right? If you're picking towards the back end of the first round, typically it's a contributor, right? Year one, they'll contribute.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, the 24th pick is going to come in and be an instant game changer. It has happened before. It's very, very rare that it has. The likelihood, if there was going to be an impact at that point, it was going to be you move up earlier into that round and find an instant impact. And I think what Dallas did, they said, look, we can go get Quinnen Williams right now, and he's under control, and he's not nearly as expensive as Micah was going to be, right? We got to extend Bland, right? Who had probably the worst game I've ever seen him have this week, but
that was horrific. Yeah,
it gave us the cap space to make some moves that otherwise would have crippled us if we'd have signed Micah. I'm not saying that Micah's a bad player. He's a fantastic player. I love Micah Parsons. I wish he would have focused more on football than he would his podcasts. That doesn't take away from his talent.
No, but
what Dallas has coming off of injury, like they had to go for it, see what can happen. Let's be honest, Bill. In order to get into the playoffs, they have to go. Was it 6-2 or 7-2 the rest of the way?
7-2, and anybody looks at their schedule, they have a gauntlet that they have to run. It is bad, but like they move.
Bill's having issues again. He's going to get his stuff figured out and come back. He said they have a gauntlet coming up, which is true. We didn't exactly have an easy open to the season, but like when we talked,
I mean, you have to look at you have to look at this move through different lenses. Yes, it's going to help this year. Yes, is there a shot you can? Yeah. You've got guys coming back. You're going to see what this team looks like next year because I think they're going to tag. I think they'll tag Pickens. I don't know that they're going to sign him long term, but they'll tag him. But
make sure it's not an anomaly.
You had to make this move. I'm all about. You and I both love the draft capital. But John, what makes me happy is they're finally starting to focus on an area that we've been begging for them to focus on for so long. And that's they've tried to address up the middle on your defense.
They've tried to address it.
I can't hear you, but I'm sure it's great. The last time Dallas had a defensive tackle this good was probably 20 years ago with Leroy Glover. I mean, it's been a long time. Kenny Clark's a good player. Osa's a good player. He's not having a great year. But their defensive tackle, even with Solomon Thomas has played well this year.
Yeah,
and you had to make this move because you're not going to. These players they're not going to be available all the time. Most guys this good aren't going anywhere.
Yeah,
we're lucky that the Jets are in fire sale mode. So, because you and I both saw Sauce Gardner, one of the best defensive backs in the league, get traded for two first round draft picks and a good receiver in A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah.
So
and that's I know you can't hear me.
I'm on board with the trade. It's not.
All right, Bill's still having issues. So, he's talking about the Jets being in fire sale mode. They basically dumped Sauce Gardner for 2 first-round picks and a premier wide receiver. They're going to be in the hunt for a quarterback. The Justin Fields experiment did not work as planned. The Jets are in a bad way, and they had some good pieces that they could capitalize on by trading for draft capital. This is not the draft I'd be looking for a quarterback in. That's actually going to be the next draft, which I'm gonna christen the Arch draft. But this is not the year. I'm not saying there's not good quarterbacks, but they're not going to blow your socks off. There's just a bunch of guys. Jags is what we would call them. Simpson from Alabama is probably going to be your number one quarterback off the board. That doesn't really wow me. He's going to be a lot like Mark Sanchez was, right? Had one good year, started. That's essentially what he's having a great year at Alabama, right? So he's going to be a pro style quarterback. So that's not a problem. He's not going to be a guy that's going to be able to come in and contribute right away, which most of us would agree that you don't want a rookie quarterback coming in right away. Just like in college, you wouldn't want a freshman quarterback coming in right away and playing. That's not the sign of a healthy team. It's the amount of capital that New York gained yesterday, the New York Jets gained yesterday, man, they're jump starting that rebuild for the new football coach. They did the right thing, right? Because they're 1-7 at this point with no answers in the future. I don't think they got rid of Breece Hall. Breece Hall was pretty vocal that he wanted to be out of there as well. But at what point do we figure out that Breece? Do you figure out that you're probably not getting traded because you're in their long term goals? But they tore it down to the studs, and they're trying to figure out how to move forward in New York. So I talked way too much about the New York Jets, but Dallas Cowboy football, right? Adding Logan Wilson immediately, he's the best linebacker in your room, except for Overshown. You add Quinnen Williams. That's gonna keep your linebackers clean as well, right? He's gonna eat up probably 2 blocks. He's that good. I think I read somewhere he had the best pass rushing. He was the only defensive tackle in the league that is top 2 in pass rush and run stopping grades per Pro Football Focus. That's outstanding because most defensive tackles are either a pass rusher or a run stuffer. And normally from a defensive tackle, it's a run stuffer, right? Your pass rushers are generally your defensive ends. Not saying that they can't, do that at defensive tackle, but Quinnen Williams is going to make the box of the Dallas Cowboys defense better. He is 100%. He is 100% the type of move that Dallas Cowboy fans needed, and it screams a Jerry Jones move. When you're talking about gradually slipping into irrelevance, that's what Dallas was on their way to. Offense is way too talented to play like they did Monday night against Arizona. That's uncalled for. Shoddy will tell you that. I still think Shoddy's the guy, right? I still think the offense is good. I still think Dak is good. Our tackles are an issue. They even benched Terrence Steele Monday night and put Rob Thomas in. Didn't make much of a difference, to be honest with you. I think Rob Thomas is a left tackle anyway, so the footwork's different, but, tomato, tomato. It's all about reps. The offensive line played pretty well until towards the end, and, the offense was just sputtering. We went away from the run early. For God's sakes, we didn't score an offensive touchdown until I think it was the 4th quarter. That's inexcusable when you've got a top 5 offense in the NFL and you're playing a team that's 2-7. Now, the Cardinals' record is better than indicated. They've had a lot of tough, close games. They're a good team, but it doesn't show in the record department. It's kind of similar to Dallas, except Dallas has a god-awful defense. The offense is elite. I think Arizona is one of those. They're good, across the board. They did announce today that Kyler Murray was put on the IR. but that we have no business losing to Jacoby Brissett at home. Snapped a eight game home win streak. It's just bad. That loss kind of hurt the playoff chances. I think they said before that loss there was like a 40% chance that the Dallas Cowboys make the playoffs, or 39 or whatever it was. After that loss, the Dallas Cowboys have like a 10% or less than 10% chance to make the playoffs. And that said, Bill and I discussed that earlier. You basically got to go 7-2 the rest of the way to make the playoffs. Washington is having a down year. New York's having a down year. This would have been the year to capitalize. It looks like this is going to be the first time in, 20 years or however long it's been that the NFC East will have a repeat winner, because it looks like the Eagles are going to run away with it. But I think the Dallas Cowboys defense isn't there. People aren't just going to be able to, run on us anymore. That's not going to be the case. They may still be able to throw on us, but we're going to make it a little tougher, because it's not just going to be gimmies. They're going to have to move the pocket, and Quinnen Williams is going to help keep them in that pocket. So the Dallas Cowboys make the big trades. I'm going to jump into some Texas Rangers talk. Man, a few weeks ago, Bill and I discussed the problems that the Texas Rangers would have if they let Mike Maddox walk. Mike Maddox walked, and it wasn't because Texas didn't want him here. It's pretty clear that the Texas Rangers are slashing salaries. Colby Lewis, who is a special assistant to the GM, they let him walk. A longtime third base coach and staple to the Texas Rangers organization. He was here over a decade. Tony Beasley is out. Brett Boone's gone. But the thing that hurts was Mike Maddox chose to leave and go to the freaking Angels. I don't know why he left. Maybe he doesn't, maybe he wanted them to address the bullpen, and they had a discussion. They're like, yeah, we're not spending any money this season. And maybe he's like, dude, I can't do that again. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But he was given the opportunity to return. He chose not to. He chose to go play to coach under first-time head coach Kurt Suzuki, who's a longtime catcher. He's a journeyman catcher. He wasn't exactly a Hall of Famer, but he's a good catcher. And sometimes catchers make good coaches, good managers. And you saw it with Bruce Bochy. He was a catcher, and he's going to be a Hall of Fame baseball coach. It's pretty clear that Ray Davis is penny pinching, and that's to the detriment of our beloved Rangers. It's tough. It's tough to watch. The focal point of the Metroplex is likely going to be the Dallas Stars this season, because the Mavs aren't great. We'll talk about them later, but the Mavs aren't doing too great. Of course, they're injured as well. But stop me if you heard this before. Anthony Davis is hurt. But the Texas Rangers, man, I've heard rumors that they're wanting to hire. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I know he was the hitting coach for the Astros. We also have I haven't heard on anyone else, but the Astros do know how to mash it. So we'll see where that goes. The World Series, man, this is probably one of the best World Series I've ever seen. Shohei Ohtani is literally the best baseball player I've ever seen with my eyes. He is, I think Bill said this. He is the modern day Babe Ruth. He throws 7 pitches, and he runs like a gazelle. He can run the bases. and he hits tanks. Throws 97 miles an hour. I saw somewhere that the Dodgers actually they invested $1.3 billion into their pitching rotation between Ohtani, Blake Snell, what's the name of it? Yamamoto, the pitcher that they got last season, and then God, who's the other guy? Their last starting pitcher. The combined salaries of those guys is $1.3 billion. That's the kind of money you're talking about when the Dodgers are taking play, like when you're playing the Dodgers, and that's just their pitching staff. That doesn't include the bullpen. That's just their starting pitchers. And you talk about Ohtani, right? You talk about Mookie Betts. What do you do when you play a team like that? But I will tell you this, right? The Blue Jays gave them everything they could have wanted. There's not like nobody in that organization should be ashamed. It's one of the best World Series I've seen in my 36 years. Bill would probably attest to that. I didn't see a game. Well, there weren't many games in that series that were just stinkers, right? They were all pretty good games, including the game. I think it was game 4 that went 18 innings, and Ohtani got on base 9 times in that game. Of course, he was walked 4 of them, but he hit like 2 home. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, Ohtani, he's just so good. He's so good. The Dodgers ended up winning the World Series in extra innings. I think it was the 11th inning. Will Smith hits a home run to win it. And that's, hey, Bill, what's up, dude? Can you hear me?
I'm trying, man.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I just touched on the Rangers and
I've been
the
listening to you.
mass
You've been doing great.
exodus. Okay, and then I'm trying to
Outside.
fill in the gaps that Bill's technical issues are causing. So it sounds like I'm rambling, but it's tough. It's tough to do this, but
I'm sorry, folks. I'm traveling again. I'm in lovely Charlotte, North Carolina for the 2nd week in a row, and I haven't been home, and I don't know how long. But
yeah,
I'm doing my best here. I'm trying to.
It's not your fault. We're good. When we get back from the break, we're going to jump into some Texas Longhorn talk. We're going to talk about the Dallas Stars and the Dallas Mavericks. We may have lost them again. But when we get back, we'll talk about Texas Longhorns, Dallas Mavericks, and Dallas Stars. The Stars got a big win last night. The Mavericks look like poopy. And the Texas Longhorns appeared to have found an offense. So we'll see where that takes us for the future. But they've got a bye this weekend, and then they jump into they're going to Georgia on the way out. So out of the bye week, so they get a bye week to prepare for one of the best overall teams and best prepared teams in college football. And then we also after that we go play an old rival, our old Southwest rival, the Arkansas Razorbacks, and then we wrap up the regular season with the Texas A&M Aggies. But we'll jump into that when we get back.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you. We promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean, right now to learn more.
800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
All right, welcome back to Game on NTX, Local Heart National Pulse. Today's show is brought to you by Ensemble Co-working, Fort Worth's hub for private offices, co-working, meeting space, and virtual mail. Find your perfect workspace at ensemblecoworking.com. All right, well, Bill's still having technical difficulties, so we're going to jump into some Texas Longhorn talk. The Texas Longhorns went on a meteoric fall from grace. They started the season 1-0, or started the season ranked number one in the country. They lose a tight game against Ohio State where the offense did not exactly look great. And then they went on to not look great continually until the last few weeks, where Arch Manning seems to have found a rhythm. I mean, they look good against Sam Houston State, but again, at Sam Houston State, they go into these games and they eke out a win the week before last in Starkville. Before that, they go to Lexington and eke out a win against Kentucky, which, you know, it's the SEC. You know, it's tough. It's tough to win some of these games. It is not for the faint of heart. They by all accounts should have lost to Mississippi State, but Arch Manning turned on his heroics last week, and he seriously let it fly. This past week, they played Vanderbilt, and they opened the game. The first pass of the game was a 75-yard swing pass to Ryan Wingo, and they didn't really look back from there. The offense looked crisp. It looked clean. The defense looked great. The Longhorns led that game in the fourth quarter, 35-10. Vanderbilt was held to their season low. I think it was 67 yards rushing this weekend. It had all of the makings of a playoff game in November. Two teams that were great. Vandy's only loss being to Alabama, which I think is just a talent disparity. It was a tight game until the second half, and then Alabama basically just played keep away. Hats off to Diego Pavia. He's a competitor. He's a competitor. He's the ultimate competitor. He is always ready for a fight. Hey, Bill, you hear me?
Buddy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. All right.
I can hear you.
All right. So we got Bill. Yeah, I got you.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Absolutely. I can see you. I can see your lovely face. Let's try it this way. I promise you, I'm gonna have this resolved, and I'm gonna have this resolved in the next 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, I know it. I'm not worried about it. We'll probably just have you call in again next week so that you can be here. They can't see your lovely face.
We still do the show. Yeah,
I'm still beautiful enough for both of us. So
this is factual. You are, sir. Awesome.
All right. Well,
awesome.
I kind of stole your thunder there a little bit. If you want to talk about the Texas game against Vandy, I mentioned the opening play.
Yeah, right from the jump, they jumped on them, and the offense looked as smooth as it has all year.
Yep.
There was a flow to it. They were running the ball. Beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Is what this offense could be. Shows you another glimpse of what this offense could be all the time.
Yeah.
But they let them back in the game. I don't know what happened. Vandy gets within a game because I guess Texas defense just guy gets wide open for a 60-something yard touchdown. And Texas is lucky that Vandy didn't recover the on to
I've got a theory.
Probably kick a game-winning field goal. Yeah, let's hear it.
I've got a theory here. So, Texas is up 34-10 in the fourth quarter, right?
Yep.
Then all of a sudden you have this lull in the defense, right? Diego Pavia throws like a 70-yard touchdown pass on a busted coverage. One guy that's normally in that secondary hasn't been there, and that's Michael Taff. Michael Taff is
big. Yeah.
He's the quarterback of the defense. He's make sure everyone is lined up. So we're playing young kids back there. We're playing Xavier Filsaime out of McKinney. We're playing who's the other kid that played back there at safety. But I mean, you could tell it was just a miscommunication. Yeah, he's got growing pains, but he's played pretty well all season. But we're playing young guys in the secondary that are making mistakes, and then I'm just gonna say it, right? I'm gonna be a conspiracy theorist. There's this theory that Vegas will make a call, and I feel like Vegas made a call, man. Like I don't know how else to explain. I know Texas let off the gas a little bit, but man,
you think they're trying to let Vandy Vandy back in the game as far as covering the spread?
Let them cover. And there were some terrible holds. When Pavia scored on his 30-yard scramble, there was a horrendous holding that they missed. I don't know how you miss it, but shit. I'm if I was blind, I'd be a better referee than SEC officials. The SEC officiating has been awful. It was atrocious, man.
It was a poorly officiated game.
Even the Oklahoma Tennessee game was bad. It was, and I'm not an Oklahoma apologist.
That one I didn't see.
It was bad, dude. They missed 3 blatant holding penalties on that. Tennessee didn't get called for 1 holding penalty against that defensive line.
It was, like I said, I didn't see the game. I can't really comment. I didn't see the game, but the official was not a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it was foul. It was foul. Dude, the 2-point conversion. Yeah, go ahead.
If Texas doesn't run the table here, is there a chance they have 3 losses, lose 1 more game, probably most likely to Georgia? Is there a chance with 3 losses that they make the
Yes.
There's a lot of convoluted teams right now. Well, we also have one other game that I keep thinking. I can't believe I keep, those people down south, further south, Texas A&M. They're having a really good year. We got to give them their props right now, John. They're playing good football. I hate doing it.
I will never do it. I won't. I will not do it. They
I hate
suck.
doing it. Trust me. But
they've played 4 teams who have fired their coaches. That means they are not good teams. And I'll tell you another team. I'll tell you another team that should not be ranked, especially ahead of Texas. That's Notre Dame. What have they done?
I knew you were going there. I did because they lost to Miami. I mean, Miami beat them, didn't they? Yeah, they lost to Miami. And aren't they still ranked higher than Miami now? And I'm not even sure. I haven't looked at the rankings this week.
Miami's out of the top 10 for sure because they've lost twice since then, I believe.
John, you know it's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And for I'm not trying to be sacrilegious here, but it's a joke here. But they're God's team. I don't know how to put it. Notre Dame's going to get preferential treatment. It's like the Yankees, and unfortunately, sometimes it's like the Cowboys. It's those teams. You either love them or you hate them. But you love them or you hate them.
Don't even start with that.
And
don't even start with that shit.
Well,
Duke basketball.
You're gonna go. I wasn't gonna bring up the fact that Duke. I wasn't gonna.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it.
I did.
Man, that's it. Talk about sacrilegious. So, God. just looking at the rankings, right? To go along with your college football poll question, right?
Yeah.
Ohio State 1, Indiana 2. This is a college football playoff ranking. Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, A&M 3, Alabama 4, Georgia 5, Ole Miss 6, BYU 7, Texas Tech 8, Oregon 9, Notre Dame 10, Texas 11, Oklahoma 12. Now, let me ask you this, okay? So when Texas lost to Florida, right, that dropped us out of the rankings, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you this, right? Texas Tech lost to Arizona State, and they're ranked at 8. Who else in the Big 12 is there other than you? They beat the piss out of Utah. I'll give them credit there, right? They played BYU this week.
They did. That's going to be a hell of a game.
So Texas
right there.
is going to win the bye week. Texas is going to win the bye week because if one of them loses, one of them is dropping out, right? So let's say, for instance, BYU loses. They're going to drop out of the top 12. Texas is going to move up to 10. Notre Dame's probably going to move up because they probably play Pennsylvania School of the Blind or some shit because that's what they do.
They don't play anybody. They don't play anybody else. Just like Ole Miss has got a favorable schedule the rest of the year.
A&M favorable schedule. Like, I think Mizzou can give them fits because they run the ball very well. But if they can't run the ball on A&M, they've got no shot because they're on their third string quarterback.
Oh no, 100%. Yeah,
Indiana has had a pretty favorable schedule. Georgia's Georgia.
Are they
Ole
for
Miss.
real in your eyes?
Georgia? Nah.
No,
I think
Indiana. No, not Georgia.
Oh, Indiana.
Yeah,
I think
for real?
He's a good coach. I think so. I mean, they've had a favorable schedule.
I think he's a damn good coach.
He is a great coach. He is a great coach, but he wins wherever he goes. That's just what he does. He wins. He's like Ricky Bobby.
I want to ask you a couple more college football questions.
Okay.
With Billy Napier finally getting the axe, a long overdue axe, in Gainesville and at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Murray, as everybody, they want Lane Kiffin, and that's a great idea because Lane's a phenomenal coach, and I think he'd kill it there. Especially, he's like Steve Spurrier Jr., the old ball coach. Lane to be like the same way.
He wears the visor.
Legitimately that he does? Can you tell me this though? legitimately is, look at all the resources and everything in the history and all that. Is Florida a better job than Ole Miss right now?
Pre-NIL, yes. Right now, no. I think with all the resources,
because it's a thing. No, go ahead.
With all of the resources that Ole Miss has given Lane Kiffin, Lane doesn't want for anything. Whatever he wants, he gets. Why would he start over in Florida when he's got it going in Ole Miss? It's not like he's leaving, the Big 12 to go to the SEC. He's not leaving the Big 12 to go to the Big 10, right? He's in a premier spot. He's got big wins on his resume. He finds and identifies talent. Jackson Dart, forget who the kid was before Jackson Dart, and now the new kid that wasn't even the starter. They found him at Ferris State. The dude.
Oh yeah.
The dude wins, right? There are people talking about Tennessee wants to get rid of Josh Heupel. Like Sark said it in his press conference. All these guys are getting fired. He goes, "Who do you hire?" And he's got a point. Like you got Penn State.
Oh, he's exactly
Auburn,
right.
You've got Florida. You've got LSU.
LSU.
Those are the four. Those are the four biggest jobs that I can think of. It's probably Florida State probably is going to open up. They might hang on to Norvell. They may not, right? You've got four of the
Don't know about that one.
You've got four of the biggest four of the biggest teams in sport, right? In college sports looking for head coaches.
Yep.
A name that I've heard for Auburn, right? Jeff Traylor.
Yeah.
Jeff Traylor down at UTSA.
How good a job is that? How good a job is that, John? How good a job is
Auburn?
Is the Auburn job? Because the expectations are, and that sometimes they're under, because you're measured just like the Texas and OU. You're measured on how you do against rival, which is Alabama, and they're almost always going to be second fiddle in that state.
Sure, it's just like A&M is to Texas.
I would love to see that for Jeff Traylor, because you and I both, he was a high school football coach in Texas. He coached at UT. He was an assistant at UT. I would love to see that for him. I don't know if anybody's really truly going to be successful there.
Yeah, okay. Here's the thing. There's layers to this, right? So for one, I think Jeff Traylor would be a perfect fit at Arkansas. He could pull kids from Texas.
Oh, I think that would be huge. That'd be perfect because he coached in East Texas. He coached high school football in East Texas. Perfect.
Another guy that I've heard, not for Arkansas but for Florida, and it makes sense because he's an alum, right? Pretty good ball coach up in the Pacific Northwest, Jed Fish. That sounds like
he coached at Arizona. Yeah, he's a good football coach.
He beat Oklahoma in the bowl game. Yep.
That would not be bad at all, man.
He's a Florida alum, right? I mean, he's moved up from Arizona to Washington and now potentially Florida.
Yeah.
Dude, the coaching carousel this year is like a video game, man. Like, you can't make this shit up.
It's fun.
The last time this happened, I was talking to my buddy who is an Oklahoma fan, Tim Bailey, right? He said, man, the last time that the carousel was this busy, right? It was the COVID year, right? When Lincoln Riley left and went to USC, and Brian Kelly left and went to LSU and developed a fake Cajun accent.
The family,
then you
hang out with his family.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I've heard that Brian Kelly's just an awful human being, by the way.
He's a tool bag.
But even as big as that, like, nobody expected Lincoln Riley to leave Oklahoma to maybe to go to the NFL, but they'd never expected him to leave and get, because they were talking about him going to LSU. That was the rumor, and then boom, out of left field, he leaves and goes to USC in the middle of the night, and he takes Caleb Williams with him. Like, I almost felt bad for Oklahoma when that happened. I was like, oh my God, that's awful. Like, how does that happen? Like,
that's one time I
sense.
didn't feel bad for Oklahoma. I laughed. I was like,
yeah, I
I
mean,
just laughed.
because they laughed at us for so long.
But I wasn't feeling bad about their misery.
I know.
Well,
I know
Heisman,
good people. Our boy Trey.
Oh yeah.
Poor
misguided young man that he is.
He is. He's a beautiful man.
We
but
tried
he was
to raise him
misguided.
better, but it just
we did. We tried. We tried to learn him something.
We tried to raise him better, but it just is still.
He's set in his ways.
You can only do
stubborn,
so much.
Man, going back to the rankings, right? In the AP, I think the AP poll is high on something.
Yeah.
Man, they got Virginia ranked 12th. What the hell is going on?
That's a little high, man. Yeah,
that's excessive.
Somebody's high.
Somebody's high.
Yeah, somebody's high.
Georgia Tech's a good school. They laid a turd against, I think it was Louisville, right? Louisville kind of beat the shit out of them.
No, it wasn't Louisville. It was I don't think it was Louisville. I thought it was a lesser. No, it was NC State.
Oh, that's it. That's
State,
even worse. Okay, so disregard my.
Which that's a tough place to play at night. I know that. But
yeah,
but if you're the number 7 ranked team in the country, you better go in there and handle your business.
Yeah, I mean, you go in there and you win a tight game, great. You can't go in there and lose by 2 scores. That can't happen.
Yeah,
I
talked about it. I would have told you. I thought Georgia Tech was going to struggle in that game, and they did. It's just
they've been asking for a loss.
Just doing down there is. Oh yeah,
they've been asking for a loss, Bill.
Yeah, not without a doubt. They were playing
the devil's dance, and the fiddler finally won. Let's see. Some big games coming up this weekend. I haven't really looked at it because Texas is on a bye. I'm taking a reset. I'm going to watch college football and not have heart palpitations because Texas tries to do this to me every week. One guy that we need to give props to, right? I went to the UNT Navy game this weekend. And how about Chad Morris, dude? How about Chad Morris?
That dude is a candidate for some jobs. He's a candidate for some jobs.
I think he's out of there, man. Like, I don't.
Yeah, probably.
For personal reason, I don't want him to leave, but it makes sense. You can't. These lower tier programs can't hang on to these high tier, high profile coaches for that long. He turned UNT.
He might take his quarterback with him.
Seth Luttrell. Yeah. That kid is an international. He threw for 600 yards 2 weeks ago.
600 yards, over 600 yards. That is incredible.
Now, mind you, right? He's playing service. He played a service academy last weekend, and they won by 2 touchdowns. I think it was. But that game never felt like it. They were in danger. They never felt like they were in danger to lose that game. They came right out and drove straight down the field, scored a touchdown. They were playing defense. Again, it's a service academy, so they're taking kids that nobody else wants and who love to run the option. But let's not forget Blake Horvath. He tuned up Oklahoma last year in the bowl game. Like he tuned them up pretty good.
Oh, he did. Oh,
I think
he
it
did.
was in Fort Worth.
Oh, he did.
And watching. There's something about watching a 5'10" lineman just move people around like they do at Navy. It's impressive. I
love it.
Jace is talking about possibly going and playing at a service academy. Like he's a grinder. He likes to run people down. Like just watching them play.
He does.
It's good. It was fun to watch a 7-1 and 7-0 team play. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. But hats off to UNT. They're getting a little bit of respect. They're not quite college football playoff respect yet, but they're getting some respect. I know we don't have a lot of time left.
Yep.
So let me jump into the Dallas Mavericks. My God, where do we start? Cooper Flagg is an 18-year-old kid.
Oh,
So
man.
I'm not going to be on his ass. He doesn't look out of place. I can tell you that.
Why do they have him still bringing the ball up?
I'm not going to say Jason Kidd's an idiot, but everything's Nico's fault. So let's just blame Nico.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I think he's still just trying to figure out how he gels with everyone. Right. You can tell he's a little apprehensive to shoot at times.
Yeah.
He'd rather dish it off. He's an off-ball player, dude. He's not a guy that should be distributed.
Without a
he's
doubt.
Not a point forward. Like, that's not what he does. But stop me if you've heard this one before. Anthony Davis is hurt. I know. Shocking. We got Gafford back.
Data Davis.
Anthony Data Davis. Klay Thompson is shooting like he doesn't know how to shoot a basketball. And that's the best way. That's the nicest thing I could say. He's playing like ass right now. We don't have a dependable point guard. I'm just going to call it, dude. It's going to be a long season. I don't see this team keeping it afloat until Kyrie comes back. Kyrie's going to come back. He's not going to be playing the minutes that we're going to need. We played the Rockets tough on Monday, but they ended up being too much. They're a really talented team. But man, we just don't have a distributor right now. And there's always a possibility that Nico there's a possibility that Nico makes a trade, but it's a lot like the Cowboys. One trade's not going to make a difference for this team, especially when you've got Kyrie in the like. You're not going to go trade for a premier point guard. Not only do you not have the capital for that, but maybe they dump Gafford and get a decent point guard. Something that we can use for a couple. I don't know. But long story short, we're 2-5 to start the season, but we're not going to improve much until Flagg comes out of his shell. So let's talk about one of the best teams in sports right now. That's the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars are banged up. They're still finding ways to be competitive. Dude, I watched that game last night. They started out they went down 2-0 after the first period to the Edmonton Oilers, who, kind of beat us around in the Western Conference playoffs.
Seems to kind of be what they do lately is just get down 2-0 and then come back and beat teams.
Man, that's what they're saying. They're the comeback kids. So I got a stat here for you. This was the third multi-goal comeback win this season so far, right? You know how many we had last season? In the whole season? 3.
Same amount.
We had 3 all last season.
3.
Right.
Yeah.
We are 6-3-3.
Yes,
we are 12 games into the season. And we've got 3 comeback wins. Now, I would prefer to stay ahead and beat the piss out of people like we were in the beginning. We would kind of let up a little towards the end. But the more impressive thing last night was no Jamie Benn, obviously. No Matt Duchene. He's still out. No Radek Faxa. No Nils Lundqvist. And no Rupe Hintz. And Otter didn't play last night, and we still got the win. So, we'll come back next.
Huge, buddy. That was huge.
We'll come back next week. Love you guys. Thanks again to our beautiful host. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godwin, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Here's important